Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the IMG Academy for some preseason exhibition baseball here. A beautiful day here at IMG Academy. Lee Godfrey alongside Mike LaValliere. And Mike LaValliere, the IMG catching coordinator, junior varsity head coach at IMG Academy. And this game between the MLB PA and JR East of Japan. Mike, what do we expect from a baseball game like this afternoon?
Well, this is a great opportunity, really, for both sides. Japan East, a team that would be comparable of our maybe single A or double A quality caliber baseball, versus some MLB free agents that are here training with us. They're looking for jobs out there, and what better way to do it is go out and actually have games versus try to get yourself ready, in basically your own backyard.
What is the strategy of you just talked about the players trying to get jobs? How do you coach or manage a game like this?
Well, basically, it's just like a spring training game. Pitchers will be having pitch limits. We'll probably see the starters out there, possibly 5-7 innings. The starting pitchers, maybe 2-3 innings, 4 innings, since they really kind of started. And really what it'll do, it'll kind of mimic what we'll see during our regular spring training, where guys come in, they get their work done, but obviously not quite as big a roster.
All right, well, let's go through as the MLB PA players will take to the field first, and we do have going through the positions for each of these teams. The starting pitcher is going to be Josh Smith this afternoon. And as we go through each of the positional players, we have a designated player, Neil Walker, this afternoon. But starting in left field this afternoon is going to be Travis Snyder, the former Toronto Blue Jays. In center field, it is Jared Saltalamacchia, the longest name ever to be printed on the back of a Major League Baseball jersey at 14 characters. In right field, we have Tyler Moore. Starting at third base is Johnson. Chris Johnson. Starting at third base. At shortstop is Omar Infante. At second base, we have Tyler Ladendorf, and at first base it is Chris Colabello. As we are set here to go here, and up to bat first for JR East is Wakumi Kimura. And the first pitch from Josh Smith, the free agent, former Cincinnati Red and Oakland A, is a strike. And that one in the dirt for ball one.
Yeah, one of the things that really, as an MLB free agent right now, you're kind of on audition each and every time you take the field. These guys, again, looking for jobs. As a pitcher, you're going to throw your entire repertoire, much more than, say, if you were in spring training and had a job where you're kind of building arm strength. Here, you basically have to show off.
2-2 the count now to Kimura. Josh Smith was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds in the 21st round of the 2010 Major League Baseball draft. He was called up the first time to the majors on April 13th, 2015. That one is not handled well by the shortstop, Infante. And so Kimura gets his way over to first base.
Well, Infante, ball not hit real well, came in, tried to make a scoop, got a little in between hop, wasn't able to handle it. But that's one of your things that's happening. These guys are used to playing on major league caliber fields. Well, I can tell you this: I've been out on this field, and they've got every good of field here than they do at any of the spring training complexes.
Chikamori pops up to left field, and that one is caught by Travis Snyder. One away here in the top of the first. To bat now, number 4, Tatsuya Maruko, the first baseman of JR East Japan. Runners going to second base, and he is out. A good play there. Great throw by Saltamakia, and he nails down the runner. And we are 2 outs here in the top of the first.
Yeah, I was just sneaking a peek. Komuro down at first base had a big lead, got a good jump. Nice job by Josh Smith giving Saltamakia a chance, but that was a great transfer. Ball delivered right on the bag, and that's something, as in big league baseball right now, it always seems like everybody's looking for pitching and catching and reading, the papers, the accounts of what's going on. Jared just wants a job from somebody. Hey, give me a chance. I got some veteran experience that I can add on.
And that one close, but that one down the right field line, and that one goes foul. It is 0-2 here. On number 7, Tatsuya Makuro. Well, Josh Smith's overall record in Major League Baseball: 5 wins, 8 losses, with an ERA of 5.30. 103 strikeouts over his period in the major leagues. And that one is a liner right to the second baseman, Ladendorf, and that will do it. That retires a side, 3 down. We're scoreless after half an inning of play. We're going to the bottom of the first. It is 0-0 between JR East Japan and the MLB PA. All right, getting ready here to start the bottom of the first inning. Here is Rasui Hidaka is going to be the starting pitcher for JR East Japan, and the first batter for the MLB PA will be Neil Walker, designated hitter.
Yeah, I spent a little bit of time with Neil Walker. I was coaching in Major League Spring Training with Lloyd McClendon back in 2000, and little fresh-faced Neil, 18 years old, number 1 pick for the Pirates, came in as a catcher. And, I don't think he was shaving at the time yet. And he was getting the bat knocked out of his hands. But Neil has gone on to obviously change positions at second base, had a fine career with the Pirates, then went over to the Mets in a trade, and now looking for someone else, but a switch hitter that's been a little stronger from the left side than the right side typically, and a guy obviously that's got some experience.
A career batting average of .272, 1,051 hits in the majors, 130 home runs, and 522 RBIs in his time with the Pirates, the Mets, and the Milwaukee Brewers in 2017. First pitch from Rusai Hidaka is a strike. And that one is in high, ball one. One and two here. Sorry, Mike.
As a major league hitter, Neil just kind of getting into camp, looking at pitches right now, and that's part of the process where pitchers are really kind of ahead of the hitters. The hitters aren't really able to recreate what we're seeing here in this game, even though we have a pitcher out there that might be in the AA level, still possesses good enough fastball, good enough breaking ball. When you're training at home, it's basically off a machine or coach pitch. So, this is a time where these guys are seeing a lot of times, a very good professional baseball or a breaking ball and having to adjust to that. So, it's a little bit of a, let's say, a learning curve every year to be able to see those pitches.
Well, Walker takes the walk, and he will go down to first base. How stressful is it for some of these players as free agents out there? What type of pressures are on them at this time of season to be able to perform, to have people see them? Are they at their best right now, and how difficult is it for them with that stress of wanting to get signed?
Well, I think they're really the same level as the rest of Major League Baseball out there during spring training. So really not too far behind as far as the stress goes. Obviously you'd like to be with an organization out there fighting for a specific job, but at the same token, you're having to go out here, get in shape, get yourself ready, so when you do get that call, you can basically just go in and do your best and try to win the job when you get the opportunity.
Chris Johnson now at the plate. He fouls that one back. Johnson, another free agent, played with the Houston Astros, Arizona Diamondbacks, Atlanta Braves, Cleveland Indians, and the Miami Marlins. Primarily a first baseman for the Marlins. He's a Florida native out of Naples, Florida. MLB statistics, he had a .275 batting average, 773 hits, 63 home runs, and 339 RBIs.
I would think at some point today, Lee, the weather's going to become a little bit of a factor here in Florida. Let's say the wind blows and it's blowing pretty briskly out to left field. So I'm going to have to think we're going to possible couple of long ones going into field 6 here at IMG Academy.
That would be great to see. Your team that you coach is going to be able to, you said, come out and watch some of this baseball game today and be able to see some of these MLB players, as that is the walk. And Chris Johnson will go to first base, and Neil Walker will make his way over to second. How much does it mean for some of your players to be able to take this in? How much does that rub off on them?
Well, I know I've got a pretty international team here. My junior varsity with 3 Japanese players, Chinese, a South Korean, Dominican, a Venezuelan, and a German. So I know that my Japanese players were very, very excited to get out here and see some of their fellow countrymen.
All right, 2 on here in the bottom of the first inning, and now it is Saltamakia, Jared Saltamakia, Salty, at the plate. Like I said, the longest name in Major League Baseball history at 14 characters, and he's had that name on the back of the jerseys while he's been with the Atlanta Braves, the Texas Rangers, Boston Red Sox, Miami Marlins, the Diamondbacks, Tigers, and the Toronto Blue Jays. So he's been around.
And Jared's been a pretty good offensive player, switch hitter, power from both sides. I think one of the things that's hurt him is, his strikeout rate. He does strike out a bunch, but the game's kind of changed a lot since I played, where the baseball fields in the big leagues are a little bit smaller. Dimensions are a little bit easier to reach for home runs. They're not manufacturing runs nearly as much as they used to. So, they have a tendency to play for that 3-run homer.
And that one way outside. Saltamacchia with a .233 career batting average, 662 hits, and a career 110 home runs. 3-1, the count. That one fouled back, out of play.
And catcher Watanabe having a little trouble trying to find that ball, and just the time of day today, just past 11 o'clock, that sun is almost directly above him. So anytime a ball goes up, really is difficult for the catchers to pick the ball up.
Full count here for Saltamacchia. And that one is low, and that will load the bases now here in the bottom of the first. Struggling a little early here is the left-hander Hidaka.
And really a couple of good, what I would consider spring training at bats for both Johnson and Saltamacchia. Each of them seeing 6 and 7 pitches. And that's really ideal whenever you're in spring training. You're trying to get your timing. The more pitches you see, the better you're going to be able to get ready for that season.
Strike one to Tyler Moore. Tyler Moore, another free agent, previously played for the Washington Nationals. That one gets inside. Catcher doing a good job of keeping that ball in front of him and the runners on base. Made his debut for the Nationals back in April of 2012. .227 batting average, 30 home runs over his career. Also played for the Miami Marlins last year in 2017. 3-1. And he lets this one go, and that one is going to be long gone. The perfect pitch right down the middle on the 3-1 count, and just like that, the grand slam home run by Tyler Moore, and MLB PA lead 4-0. He got all of that one. You mentioned the ball's going to possibly to left field, and he got all of that one.
Yeah, that was a no doubter. Wind did not play a factor other than carry a little bit deeper onto field 6. Landed somewhere around the first or second base, which I would probably have to estimate that ball going, I want to say it's probably about 450 feet. That was an absolute blast.
So 4-0 here in the bottom of the first. Still nobody out. And Juan Francisco takes strike one.
And just a lesson for all of our pitchers out there, younger pitchers especially. You get in a situation where you're behind in the count. There was just 3-1. Zoned in was more, get a ball in the happy zone and didn't miss it.
1-2 the count to Juan Francisco. the Dominican Republic baseball player who spent time on quite a few teams as well, the Cincinnati Reds, Milwaukee Brewers, and the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, that was a little interesting. Fastball by Hideki went behind Francisco. Might want to think if that happens during the season. I would say tempers would flare. I got to give him the benefit of the doubt that one got away from him.
And this time he does get it right and goes right down the middle. A strikeout there, the first of the afternoon. As Juan Francisco goes down looking here in the bottom of the first, one away.
I can tell you from experience, Lee, once you get a fastball that's behind you, the next fastball on the outside corner isn't nearly as appetizing when it's left-handed pitcher against left-handed hitter.
The shortstop up the bat now, Omar Infante. That one is down low, 1-1. Infante was a 2010 All-Star and won a World Series championship in 2015. Spent time with the Tigers, Braves, Marlins, and the Kansas City Royals. And that one hit to left center field, still going back, and that one drops in between the center fielder and the left fielder, and that will be a triple for Omar Infante. The stand-up triple here is he hit that one to the gap. Well hit ball and gets around to third base.
Yeah, pitching up and out over the plate, a ball that big league hitters don't miss that. As a catcher, the pitch comes out of the pitcher's hand and it gets about halfway, and you want to call timeout, Lee, because you know that thing's going to get punished. The ball that breaking ball up and out over the plate. And one of the biggest differences is amateur hitters take that pitch and they think it's too high. Big league hitters, know what to do with that. It's already elevated. Then it's about a matter of putting it in a good swing. Because those in the past, catchers don't get a chance to catch those too many times.
Left fielder now, Travis Schneider, up to the plate. And Snyder gets a piece of that going along that left field line, and that one is caught. And no problem there for Infante, who tags up, and he will score to make it 5-0 for the MLB PA. 2 away now here in the bottom of the first.
Good job, Travis Snyder. Snyder was a teammate of Neil Walker back with the Pirates a few years ago, and Travis has had some good numbers. The problem is approach at the plate. He was pretty much a pull hitter. There you see, maybe some change in his plan where instead of trying to pull that ball, he went with it nicely. He had a nice routine fly ball, which was great for the situation. Great situational hitting. Instead of trying to pull the ball and turning the ball over, just went with it and hit a nice sac fly.
Chris Colabello at the plate now, number 20, the first baseman. He fouls that one. Colabello formerly played with the Minnesota Twins and for the Toronto Blue Jays after playing 7 seasons in independent baseball. .259 career batting average, 187 hits, and 28 home runs while with the Twins and the Jays. 0-2 the count, and it goes to 1-2 now. Nobody on here in the bottom of the first, as we've seen the Tyler Moore grand slam get things going earlier on. And Omar Infante scoring on the Travis Schneider sacrifice fly to make it 5-0. Gorgeous afternoon here in Bradenton, Florida. Of course, IMG Academy, one of the premier sports developmental institutions in North America, if not the world. And as Chris Colabello goes down, JR East Japan finally gets out of the bottom of the first, not before a lot of damage done as MLB-PA put up 5 runs. We'll be back in a couple of minutes for the top of the second inning.
So, you want to be the best? So does everybody else. See, it takes more than wanting it. You gotta show up. And when you show up and camp here, you'll be ready to compete anywhere.
Mike LaValliere. And Mike, you've been around Major League Baseball for quite some time with various teams. When you talk about the facilities here at IMG Academy, you know, where do they stack up compared to other spring training facilities to be able to have baseball players come into this facility, you know, as far as the quality here at IMG?
Well, I tell you one thing, you could go all over Florida. I haven't been to Arizona for spring training, but you can go all over Florida and not find as good quality of a complex. There's covered cages, and there's open cages. We have 6 full fields here. We've got 2 half fields. We've got a little league field. Really everything you could possibly ask for. We've got a nice stadium, which this game is being played on. But you know, this program is growing and growing, and I tell you, the quality is just second to none.
Paul Clemens on the mound now for MLB-PA, free agent. Spent time with the Astros, Marlins, and Padres. He's actually got a funny story. Back in August of 2016, he had some pine tar on his jersey, so he had to go and change the jersey off, and they didn't have another jersey with his name on it, so he had to go back into the game with number 91 and player on the back of his jersey. So reminds me of the Nationals days when they spelt the jerseys wrong. As J.R. East get a base hit there to short one to left field and get their first base runner of the afternoon. Actually, they had a couple in the first, but as we are 5-0 here in the top of the second inning, 1 on now for JR East Japan. And number 5, Katsuya Watanabe at the plate. The catcher, sorry. Fly ball deep to center field, but that will not be a problem for David Washington. A one away here in the top of the second.
Yeah, we spoke earlier about the opportunity for the Major League free agents to get ready, but this is a great opportunity for the JR or the East Japan team. They're seeing some quality against them. They're seeing some pitches that they normally won't see, so it will be helping in their development, having the chance. Again, you're going up against Major League ball players. This is not just a bunch of minor league guys. These are proven, veteran, big league guys out there that they're facing.
Clemens inside there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the second inning, and 1 on for JR East. Clemens going over to Colabello. Now the 1-1 pitch is in the dirt, 2-1 to the right fielder, Katsuya Sato.
I like what I've seen so far from Saltalamacchia behind home plate. Real nice catch and release. Good throw on throwing out the runner in the first.
There's a fly ball to a right field, and that one is caught by Tyler Moore. 2 out here in the top of the second inning.
And just previous to that pitch, Jared with a nice job blocking the ball. It looks pretty spry for a guy's age.
Yeah, he's been around the block, and he's got that experience, that's for sure. I know I wouldn't want to be behind there trying to block balls all day long. Tough job. Ball 1 to the third baseman, Ato Kunimatsu. And that one just a bit outside and low for ball 2. Three and 0 now the count. And that one just getting the outside corner. 3-1 now. And a big swing there by Kanumi Matsu. Full count. Runner goes, that one gets away, and that will be a walk for Kunimatsu.
Yeah, it's a situation, here you get Josh Smith, again, trying to get his work in. You got a 3-2 count, a 5-0 lead, and that's really what changes really in between a regular season game and a preseason spring training game. There was a 3-2 breaking ball with 2 outs. A lot of times you're going to see that pitcher go right after the hitter and just throw the heater. But again, they're just trying to get all of his pitches in and work on it, because sooner or later, whenever he does get signed, he's going to have to execute that pitch.
That one inside to the shortstop, Yusi Aitono. And he gets one into the shortstop and out at second base. No problem there to end the inning, as JR East Japan remain scoreless so far through 2 innings of play. It is the MLB PA 5, JR East Japan nothing. And we will be back more from IMG Academy here. A beautiful day in Bradenton, Florida. Some exhibition baseball here. We'll be back for the bottom of the second inning when we come back. Here in Bradenton, Florida, for some exhibition baseball here between MLB PA and JR East Japan. Number 44, the center fieldman now, David Washington at the plate. New pitcher in the game for JR East, it is Kota Nishida. And he starts his afternoon with a strike. 5-0 the score here in the bottom of the second inning. It was a Tyler Moore grand slam home run in the first inning to get things going. That one away outside, 1-1. That one looked a little bit low, but he gets the call, 1-2. Nishida out of Osaka, Japan. As Washington flies that one up, and that one will drop foul.
And Nishida showing a nice changeup. Firm with the fastball. Last two pitches, not sure if it's a split finger or circle change. That one kind of acted like it came in and had a little bit of fade to it. Good arm action. Really one of the toughest pitches to pick up.
Well, in the first inning, it was a lefty for JR East Japan. That's what they were looking at. And now Nishida, right-handed pitcher. And that one right in, and Washington takes a big cut at that one, and he is in front of that. He strikes out. One away here in the bottom of the second. And coming to the plate now is number 33, Tyler Ladendorf. Ladendorf, another free agent. Played most recently with the Oakland Athletics, and he pops that one up to left field. A little bit of sun getting in the eyes there, but no problem for Chikamori to mark out number 2 here in the bottom of the second. Neil Walker, the designated hitter, back as we go to the top of the batting order for MLBPA.
And Neil got a chance to live a little kid's dream. Grew up in the Pittsburgh area, drafted by the Pirates, ended up playing for him for quite some time, had a nice career there.
Neil with a one right to the second baseman to result in the third out. That ends aside, and we will go on to the top of the third when we come back. Once again, it is still 5-0 for MLB PA. A new pitcher, once again, will more than likely be in for MLB PA. And we'll be back with more here from IMG Academy right after this. Manager of the baseball team on the field right now for MLBPA. And as a manager out there today, you know, how do you go about these sort of scenarios for a lot of free agent players out there? What is your objective out there this afternoon?
Well, one, the objective obviously is to get these guys ready for championship season, whether that's, you know, whatever club they would end up being with. I think all these guys obviously come with experience. They've been a part of spring training, and we've tried to run, you know, the entire camp the way they would run spring training if they were in one of the 30 clubs.
That one popped away as Kyle Kendrick into the game at pitcher now for MLBPA. 1-1 the count. From the players' perspectives, you know, a lot of these guys would probably like to be going through spring training with a club right now. So what are some of the differences from them being here and trying to get a look and to be able to get back and sign with a Major League Baseball team?
Well, I think you have an influx of guys here that everybody's situation is different. And I think we're very cognitive of that from a staff standpoint. And the best thing we can do is, one, provide this for our players and give them an opportunity to have a place to come each and every day to where they know that they are being prepared for a standpoint of, if a team call, they would not be going into a camp and feel like, wow, I got to get myself ready to go. They're ready to go when they leave here.
3-1 the count right now to Yamaguchi here in the top of the third inning, and that one right down the middle for a strike. Talk about the facilities here at IMG Academy and what these players experience here compared to being with other teams, and how this rates with facilities across America.
I tell you, this is a first-class facility. We were very fortunate to be able to work out this partnership with IMG. Our guys have been very appreciative. They've been very complimentary of not just the field, but all the amenities, from the cages to the strength and conditioning weight room, in which our guys have been able to use as well. And I mean, our hats goes off to IMG for allowing us the opportunity to bring this camp here.
Yamaguchi fouling that one off, staying alive here in the top of the third. I know for a lot of fans at home, we consider it, the off season and going through the winter. For most of the players and stuff, there probably really isn't much of an off season now. They're always trying to stay in shape. But does it still get exciting every spring to when the guys finally all come and get together?
I think that was one of the things that when you get a chance to talk to these guys, all of these guys are pretty much training year round.
Mm-hmm.
So when spring training rolled around, and you look at the number of free agents that were out there, and as we started to field calls from the different agents, from players, and we put this camp together, it was one of the things that we took into consideration. At some point, you got to get out of your workout regimen, and you got to get into what we call spring training and game shape. And I think this camp has been able to provide just that, because now you get to get into an atmosphere with other major league players, and you're going through the day-to-day grind that it takes to be ready for the season.
Low throw there from the shortstop Omar Infante, and first baseman Chris Colabello not able to nab that one as J.R. East puts a runner on first base. Another one back to Omar Infante, and he's able to not get the double play. He's not able to turn it safe at first base. So 2 away here in the top of the third inning. Is it any more stressful? I asked Mike about this as well for some of these players, not with clubs, and their opportunity and their window. It's sometimes small here as a free agent to try to catch on a club. Do they find any more stress trying to perform at the highest level or play at their best to be able to try to sign on with a club?
Well, I think when you get to, like I said, these guys are in different places in their careers, but I think all of these guys have played enough baseball at the major league level to where they can help, a multitude of ball clubs. But like I said to these guys in some of the conversations in which we've had, the best thing you can do is control the things that's in your grasp of being able to control. You can control your effort. You can control your preparation. You're not sitting in the boardrooms of all these other teams and know their strategy or what they're looking for. You just want to make sure that when you walk out on the baseball field and you're presenting yourself, that you're presenting yourself in the manner that when that opportunity does come and they're looking to get a player, that you're one of the guys in which they see as an opportunity to help their ball club.
Little short hopper that was taken care of nicely, as that will do it for the top of the third inning. Bo Porter, thank you very much for spending half an inning with us and giving your insight on what is going on here with the club and how the players are doing here at IMG Academy. Good luck the rest of this game and the rest of the way in preseason. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Welcome back to IMG Academy here for some Exhibition baseball here between MLBPA and JR East Japan. It is 5-0 here going into the bottom of the third inning. It was a grand slam home run by Tyler Moore to get things going for MLBPA as number 27, the third baseman, Chris Johnson to the plate now for MLBPA. As it's been a bit of a struggle for JR East to get something going on the board. But after that first inning, they've settled down a little bit here as Chris Johnson pops one up to right field, and that one is taken care of. So one out here in the bottom of the third inning. Coming up to the plate now is Saltamacchia. Jared Saltamacchia, the catcher. Spending time on various Major League Baseball teams, last playing for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's been doing a good job so far behind the plate. Doing a good job of blocking some balls in and controlling the play from behind the plate as he takes that one right down the middle, strike one to Saltamacchia. Kota Nishida is still pitching here for JR East Japan. It was a rough outing for the starter for the day, Rusi Hidaka, the left-hander, giving up 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Outside, 2-1 to Saltamacchia. On deck is the right fielder, Tyler Moore. And that one again, right down the middle, 2-2 the call as Saltamacchia just watching that one. And that one right down the first baseline as Makuo is able to handle that. No problem, he says to the pitcher, hold your ground, I've got this. Taps on first base, and 2 away here in the bottom of the third. Tyler Moore, the right fielder, to the plate now. Tyler Moore out of Brandon, Mississippi. Career batting average of .227, 30 home runs and 121 runs batted in. Fouls that one away. Previously played for the Washington Nationals and the Miami Marlins. Moore was drafted by the Nationals, 16th round of the 2008 Major League Baseball draft out of Mississippi State University. He was also drafted 2 times previously by the Nationals as he's able to outrun that one and get to first base. The designated hitter now, Juan Francisco, to the plate for MLBPA. Francisco's been around the block in Major League Baseball, previously with the Cincinnati Reds, Atlanta Braves, and Milwaukee Brewers, and the Toronto Blue Jays. And he takes that one high and away, 1-0 the count. Well, we're pleased to be joined now by Dan Simmons, the IMG Director of Baseball here at IMG Academy. Dan, a beautiful day for baseball.
Doesn't get much better than this, does it?
It doesn't, and boy, we see a lot of talent out here right now. Talk a little bit about logistically the challenges to turning around this type of thing and hosting such a large group of professional athletes.
Yeah, it all happened pretty quick. Nick Phelps, did a tremendous job of, reaching out once we got wind of that this may occur, and we were hoping that we would be a consideration to be able to host it. And as it turned out, we did have some connections. We were able to talk to some people and able to put it together pretty quick. Our team, our staff, did a great job in the sense that there was a lot of challenges in putting it together so quickly, but they did a really, really good job getting the fields prepared, you know, the locker rooms, you know, all the logistical things that needed to be done to carry something like this out.
Juan Francisco fouled out to retire the side in the bottom of the third inning. We're going to move on to the top of the fourth inning. For those, Dan, who may not be familiar with the facility here, what does IMG Academy have to offer from a baseball training perspective?
Yeah, we're fortunate. You know, we've got 6 full-size fields. We've got 3 training fields that we're able to do, you know, certain fundamentals and drill work, as well as 16 tunnels, batting cages, 4 of which are indoor. We've also got 14 mounds that we're able to work with. So, you know, we certainly have everything that you're going to find at a lot of major league facilities, minor league complexes, you know, as well as some high-end technology that we have access to. So it's a pretty special place when you consider all the things that are available to us.
How great is this for, you know, you have a lot of, you know, students here and for your own players to be exposed to the talent, even if it's just a glimpse, just to see some, and give them that opportunity to know that this is a goal for them. You know, all kids have dreams and they're trying to live it.
Yeah, our kids love it. You know, we've been fortunate where we've been able to bring them out Tuesday, on Tuesday's game, and then certainly today to have some of our players out here to watch and just see the game at the highest level. You know, a lot of these guys have extensive major league experience, and, you know, for our players to see how they prepare and how they go about their business is really helpful for us, you know, and you know, the nice thing is we have a staff that has a lot of experience too at the collegiate and professional levels, but nothing can replace, you know, for these kids to come out and see players that they watch on TV, see them out here performing and see them preparing.
All right, Dan Simmons, IMG Director of Baseball. Thank you very much for spending a little bit of time up here with us. Enjoy the rest of this ball game and the rest of this preseason. And I've been here for a little bit doing some soccer as well. Just a fantastic facility here for everything, and it's a beautiful day for baseball here. So enjoy. Thank you very much for spending the time, and enjoy the rest of the game.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Dan Simmons, the IMG Director of Baseball here at IMG Academy, as we are here to start the top of the fourth inning. In pitching now for MLBPA is Nefi Ogando, a right-handed pitcher, as it is 5-0 here. 3 hits for MLBPA over the first 3 innings of play. That one down and low. 3-0 the count to Kunimatsu, the third baseman, as Mike Lavalier joins us back up in the booth here to start the fourth inning of play.
And just had a little opportunity to check with my junior varsity charges after last night's big victory over Tampa Catholic. They're all here in full force with a little homework. I asked them to come up with something today that made an impression on them at this ball game.
Slow grounder there. That's handled by Omar Infante without a problem. 1 away here now in the top of the fourth inning of play. Well, you have to challenge them at every level, don't you? You just can't all be for fun at some point.
Well, you know, you get to the point where you start getting into your teens, and then college becomes a very important thing. And some of our players they're looking at the amateur draft. I think every time you come to the ballpark is an opportunity for you to learn about the game. And I'm hoping that I get filled with a bunch of questions tomorrow or comments about what they've seen at today's ball game.
Watanabe with a couple of big cuts there as he goes down 0-2 in the count. Again, it was back in the first inning, Tyler Moore with the grand slam home run. They've added one more as that one is popped up and away.
Yeah, it was right at field level, and I can tell you that Nefi Ogando, real live fastball, throwing significantly harder than anybody we've seen so far today.
That one low and away. 1-2. Well, we see a lot of people just in front of us with the radar guns. My eyes aren't quite good enough to be able to see what the numbers are coming in, but that one popped up and back, and Saltamacchia right there to get it. 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning of play. 5-0 is a score for MLB PA. Lee Godfrey alongside Mike LaValliere, the IMG catching coordinator and the junior varsity head coach. On a beautiful day here in Bradenton, Florida. Lots of grapefruit action happening around the area as well.
You had mentioned, Lee, about the radar guns, and typically, this day and age, it looks like every reliever that comes out of the bullpen is 94 mile an hour plus, and that's one of the changes in the games. For back whenever I played, you had your middle guys are kind of the sinker slider type guys, pitch to contact, where nowadays you've got 11 and 12 man pitching staffs, and it's so much more matchup orientated, where these guys come in, maybe 1 or 2 hitters, they're all throwing 95 to 100 with sharp breaking balls. It's much more of a power game on the mound than it was whenever I played.
And that one is down low. 3-1 now, the count. As Kimura, the second baseman, back to the top of the order for JR East Japan. And that one's popped foul back, and the count will go to 3-2.
A good way of telling what kind of fastball that a pitcher has, especially velocity-wise. You find that the Japanese hitters are popping up a lot of balls. They're not quite getting their hands to them, so that shows me there's a little extra jump on the ball from Ogando.
Yeah, you can see a lot of these players having trouble catching up, certainly with that ball, just getting a piece of it. And once again, just getting a piece of that, fouling it right. As it is full count here, 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. As we'll see, as we have in the past, a different pitcher for MLB PA in each of the innings. And this is the 4th of the afternoon so far here for MLB PA as Kimura continues to fight, fouling another one off.
And again, just to mention again, this is great training for JR East, being able to face this kind of velocity. During the spring, our JV program was able to play Seoul, South Korea's high school team, and we saw 84 to 87 miles an hour. And that's probably the quickest that we'll see all spring. But again, it was great to see it by these players.
Kimura fouls a few of those off and ends up winning that battle as Ogando was low with that previous pitch. So walking his first batter of the afternoon. Big cut there by Kunimatsu, the third baseman. 0-1. Another big cut and the throw back to first place, and he is out. Beautiful play there by Saltamacchia. Back over to Chris Colabello, and the tag is good, and that retires the side here in exciting fashion here. Ending the top of the fourth inning, will go to the bottom of the fourth as MLB PA lead the JR East of Japan by a score of 5-0.
You ever have that day? You know, that day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
Welcome back to IMG Academy here for some exhibition baseball between MLB PA and JR East Japan. We're here starting the bottom of the fourth inning, and it is number 4, the shortstop Omar Infante, to start it off here in the bottom of the fourth, and he takes a strike one here. Good play to end the top of the fourth inning by Saltamacchia, the catcher for MLB PA. Two and one the count, and that one will drop in for a base hit for Omar Infante.
Omar didn't hit it real well, but what you see from professional hitters, that bat stays through the hitting zone so well. And the bat really, he was a little bit early on it, getting off the end of the bat. But again, if you're a little choppy with your swing, if you're cutting off your swing, then you swing and miss in that. And that's where you see the veteran presence of getting that bat through the zone. That gives him the chance. Again, he didn't sting it, but it was enough for a base hit.
Left fielder now, Travis Snyder to the plate. Started his Major League Baseball career in a city where I spent 15 years with the Toronto Blue Jays. Snyder with 4 years as a Toronto Blue Jay. He was well liked in Toronto. I think it was because of his grittiness, and just that determination that he had early in his career as a Toronto Blue Jay. He became quite a fan favorite. 1-1 the count to Snyder. Pops that one way up here, and the third baseman for JR East comes over, makes the catch, and one away now for MLB PA is Chris Colabello, the first baseman who slapped that tag down to end the top of the fourth inning, is at the plate for MLB PA.
You mentioned Travis Snyder having some good years in Toronto. I saw him with the Pirates, and I think what's happened is sometimes these guys get in a little bit of a rut and are a little reluctant to make some changes when they've had some success. That's really kind of fed onto the sabermetric system where hitters are not making adjustments. And I could see right there, first at bat, Travis hit the ball left field for a sac fly. That time trying to go the other way. So it may be a conscious effort where Travis is trying to show that a little bit more flexibility whenever he gets up to the plate.
Big swing there by Colabello, who played the 2013-14 season with the Minnesota Twins and 2015-16 season with the Toronto Blue Jays. And Colabello from a baseball family. His father, Lou, played baseball in Italy for 7 years and later pitched at the 1984 Olympics. And that one, short fly ball, caught in center field. So 2 away here for MLB-PA. And David Washington, the center fielder, coming to the plate. Washington chops that one. It goes over the first baseman. The pitcher comes across. Makes a nice play there to retire the side here. So we have completed 4 innings of play here at IMG Academy. All the scoring so far happening in the bottom of the first inning of a Tyler Moore grand slam after 4 innings of play. It is MLB PA 5, JR East Japan, no score. Welcome back to IMG Academy Exhibition Baseball, MLB PA versus JR East from Japan, 5-0 right now for MLB PA. Lee Godfrey alongside Mike LaValliere. And Mike, after that first inning where the lefty for JR East had a little bit of trouble, things seemed to settle down a little bit more in this game.
No, this game really, 3 walks followed by a gigantic home run. I think my 450-foot estimate is probably a little shy. I might go after, take about a $5 cab ride, find out where that thing is, or at least what they used to say back in the day. that flight served 2 meals on that flight. It was so long. Being close to Sarasota Airport here, it could have shown up on radar.
Well, a new pitcher on the mound now for MLBPA. It is Scott Carroll, number 37. Played his 2014 to 2016 with the Chicago White Sox, drafted by the Cincinnati Reds back in 2007. Tall, right-handed pitcher. Hasegawa. That is Kunimatsu, the third baseman, at bat right now to start the top of the 5th inning for JR East Japan. And he gets Kunimatsu swinging as we are 1-2.
Yeah, Carroll's got about a 3/4 arm delivery. Showed good movement on the fastball, and then that one, indoor breaking ball, it starts right at the hitter and kind of goes over the inside corner. Effective pitch, but a little bit dangerous. You go ahead and miss your spot inside, leave that over the plate. It really a very hittable pitch.
Carroll was acquired by the Texas Rangers back on July 20th of 2016, and then on just over a year later, on August 15th of 2017, Carroll signed a minor league deal with the Chicago Cubs, but he elected for free agency in November of 2017. Two and two now, the count to Ato Kunimatsu. He gets in front of that one. And waiting for the signal on that is a foul ball.
That's
That one had the distance, but
Yeah.
it was close.
Exactly what I was talking about, that indoor breaking ball. That one broke out over the plate. Kunimatsu just couldn't keep it fair, but definitely had plenty of distance.
Two and two, and he rips this one right down the middle. Good play there. Just a little bit of deflection of the glove of Scott Carroll. Didn't change the direction of it enough for Tyler Ladendorf to be able to pick that one up at second base and whip it across to Chris Colabello for the first out of the inning.
And just a sheer reaction, ball hit extremely well. Carroll, they said just enough to take something off it. I think if he doesn't get a piece of leather on that one, it's destined for center field for base hit.
Yeah, it was going to probably go right just past second base, but it deflected it enough over to the left, enough to be able to have that no problem and make it an easier play for the second baseman. And that one hopper there and over to first base, no problem, second out of the inning. As Aitono takes the first pitch and records the second out of the inning. An easy play there at shortstop for Omar Infante. Yamaguchi, the center fielder, now at the plate for JR East Japan. And that one catching the outside corner for strike one.
I'm not sure if that's by design or if Carroll's not quite finishing that breaking ball. It seems a majority of them are staying on that outside to a lefty, inside to a righty spot in the on the plate. Again, without and knowing for sure, early in spring, it may just not be, rhythm might not be right, his timing not quite right, so he's not quite breaking it off well. But again, it does have some movement, so very well could be by design.
Carroll's Major League Baseball record, 6 wins, 11 losses with an ERA of 4.60 and 93 strikeouts in his time with the Chicago White Sox. Made his debut back on April 27, 2014 with the Sox. Chopper there, and that one just unable to be picked up there by Chris Colabello. He got a piece of it, slowed it down, but wasn't able to find it outside of his glove. And Yamaguchi gets across to first base. First base runner for JR East here in the top of the 5th inning.
And just like at the plate, on the mound, fielders have to take some time to get their timing and their rhythm. And you can take as many fungos, practice balls as you can, but until you get into a real live game with game speed, it really makes a difference.
The runner goes, and this time he will be safe. Saltamaki not able to get that to second base in time, and JR East Japan record their first stolen base of the afternoon.
You're rather helpless feeling. Great jump by Yamaguchi, and really no chance for Saltalamaki. You saw him really rush it, ball bouncing to second base.
And that one getting away this time from Carroll, and Saltamaki unable to hold it, and now Yamaguchi makes his way over to third base. Top of the order once again is Kimura with a 2-0 count here in the top of the 5th inning. And that one ripped foul down the third baseline.
I'd have to say, ballpark here, the stadium at IMG is a good size, very fair ballpark, 330 down the lines. As you get out towards center field, about 390 in dead center.
Nice chopper there for the third baseman, and he gets that across in time to Colabello to retire the side. Chris Johnson with the throw there, third base, as we are moving on now to the bottom of the 5th inning. Still 5-0 for MLB PA over the JR East from Japan. We'll be back more from some exhibition baseball here at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. Welcome back to IMG Academy here in Bradenton, Florida. A beautiful afternoon for baseball. Lee Godfrey alongside Mike LaValliere as The JR East of Japan is taking on MLB PA. It is 5-0. The score here as we're about to start the bottom of the 5th inning. And it is the second baseman, Tyler Ladendorf, to start the inning. And he takes 2 straight strikes.
I used to get asked a lot of times, Lee, about the difference between spring training and big league games during the regular season. And, I think Clint Hurdle, the manager of the Pirates, said it best. The games don't count, but they matter. Mm-hmm. And, each and every time that you take the field, whether you're in Little League, high school, college, or here like we're seeing Major League free agents, it does matter because people are watching. And there's a chance where you catch somebody's eye, make a big difference in your career.
Yamaguchi with the strikeout there. And I really think that crosses past any sport, doesn't it? When you're starting a season up, whatever it may be, that I know a lot of fans out there are always so centered on the score of a game when I'm not too sure the players or a manager is really too concerned about a score in preseason. It's what it needs to be worked on every player goes into it with probably a different goal or a different objective in preseason.
Well, you're right, and it's not like someone comes to the ballpark to try to lose a game. Everybody. I can tell you, it's always good to win. It's always good to shake your own guys' hands after the game. I don't care where you are, but again, it's about getting the right things done and getting things accomplished. So now, whenever it does count, you're ready for absolutely every one of those games.
Yeah, it's a good point. You still never like to lose. Every person out there, any sort of athlete, always has that competitive spirit in them, no matter what's going on. Now Neil Walker flying out there to center field. 2 away now for Chris Johnson, the third baseman. He fouls that one away for strike 1. And that one inside.
Like what I've seen so far from Yamaguchi, throwing a little 3/4, showing a nice breaking ball, has moved his fastball in and out. Good mix of pitches.
And now it is 1-2 as Chris Johnson a little bit ahead of that pitch. And that one is low for ball 2. The catcher, Jared Saltamacchia, on deck. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. And that one fouled away. Once again, we are here. A gorgeous day in Bradenton, Florida at IMG Academy. The top sports training facility. And that one is ripped down left field by Chris Johnson, the third baseman. He is going to turn the corner and go for 2, and he will be sliding in there safely to keep this inning going here in the bottom of the 5th.
I have to call that one a laser beam to left field. Ball hit extremely hard. It was almost a question whether he was going to be able to make it to second base, even though it did hit the wall. It get out there so fast. And Chikimori, the left fielder, got onto it and made a nice throw. I think it was on the bag. Could have been bang, bang.
Jared Saltamacchia at the plate now, the catcher. He looks at a high pitch for ball 1. high pop up here by Saltamakia, and this should end the inning, and it does. So MLB PA strand one runner here in the bottom of the fifth, but they still lead by a score of 5-0 over JR East of Japan. You are watching exhibition baseball here from IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida.
You ever have that day? You know, that day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
Played in the Mexican League last year. A's, Rockies, Indians, Yankees. Welcome back to IMG Academy. You just heard me going over the resume of the new pitcher in here to start the sixth inning of play for MLB PA. It is Josh Outman, a 33-year-old pitcher out of St. Louis, Missouri, left-hander. Played with the Oakland A's, Rockies, Indians, and Yankees, and most recently in the Mexican League. Also has represented the United States of America. Good connection there by number 29, Chikamori, the left fielder, starting things off here in the top of the sixth inning.
I like it. You get a lefty-lefty matchup. Rather than try to have to worry about that breaking ball later on in the count, be ready to hit first pitch. He was ready. Nice liner in the left field.
That one right down at the middle as a designated hitter. Hasegawa to the plate now for JR East Japan. And that one inside for ball one. And that one getting away there from Josh Outman. High and outside for ball two. And there's another one ripped to left field. And that will be a base hit, advancing Chikamori to second base. And Hasegawa with a single. So 2 on here now for JR East Japan in the top of the sixth. Nobody out.
Yeah, this is one of the things that some of these major league free agents are looking to do is try to get their edge back. They were in the big leagues for a reason. They had good enough stuff, and now it's a matter of trying to fine-tune things and get it back. Sometimes it's a matter of velocity. Sometimes it's a matter of commanding your secondary pitches. So it's just not always where, your arm is injured or something like that. It just may be execution, location. There's certain things, and it's such a fine line between AAA minor leagues and the big leagues. And, something, again, this the Major League Baseball Players Association is giving a nice, I love the idea. They're giving their workers a chance to earn a job. And what a platform they have here using IMG Academy.
Absolutely. 0-2 now, the count. And it's been quite a while. 1-2 the count. It's been 4 years since Josh Outman has been in the majors. And we do have a new catcher in play now this inning as well for MLBPA. Number 13, Cody Stanley comes into the game.
And pretty much par for the course at what I would call this juncture of spring training being March 1st. That your starting catchers come in, catch about 5 innings, 4 or 5 innings, and have to get 2 or 3 at-bats and then shut it down.
3-2 the count. That one is inside to Maruko, and that will load the bases up for JR East Japan here in the top of the 6th inning, and Cody Stanley going out to have a conversation with Josh Outman. What would Cody Stanley be having? What would that conversation entail at this point, loading up the bases?
Well, basically what it is you're going out there to remind him, exactly what he needs to do. Don't overthrow the ball. Go ahead, execute your pitch. Don't try to get out of this inning with just giving up no runs. If I'm in a bases loaded and nobody out situation, if I give up 1, I think I've done a really good job. So, here is try to get a ground ball, get your double play, and really diffuse the whole situation.
Watanabe at the plate now.
Lee, as a catcher, you're seeing certain things where maybe it's just a little bit of body language, or maybe the ball's coming in and flattening out, which means it might be overthrowing, one of the breaking balls or the change-ups. And that's really, something that it's really hard to see from the sidelines. I'm a big believer in catchers being able to call their own games, and just, you got to have the idea of what to do.
Well, he got ahead in the count 0-2, but this time this one is ripped to opposite field. A base hit down to right field, and they get a couple of runners scoring there. So here we go. They make it a 5-2 baseball game. JR East finally getting on the board. And the score now is 5-2. And that has to be a little bit frustrating with that 0-2 count, and you think that this is a good position for the pitcher to be in, and that one just gets ripped to right field. So with Tananabe with 2 RBIs here, and it's now Sato to the plate.
Yeah, going back to that point, he was 0-2, made a nice breaking ball that Watanabe fouled off, and then he made the mistake. And, that's a sign of a good hitter and a sign of a pitcher that's not quite in full command of his repertoire. A pitch that was maybe designed to go down and away off the plate ended up out over the plate and up, something that Watanabe could go ahead and smash in right field.
Yeah, that one high. The count is 2-1. Runners on the corners now for JR East Japan here in the top of the 6th inning. And a high fly ball there to right field. And that one is lost in the sun. A big mistake there by number 14, Nelson Reimold, who's come into the game. And he loses that one in the sun, and so the runner doesn't even have to worry about tagging up, and JR East Japan get their 3rd of the game as Makuru comes in from 3rd to score, and the runner advances Watanabe to 2nd base. So now runners on 1st and 2nd, and still no one out here in the top of the 6th inning, as it's been a bit of a struggle here for Josh Outman.
A common theme during spring training for a lot of the outfielders, You have high skies, you have the sun, that's a factor. Obviously, the wind is a factor. You're just starting to get into things. There's a lot of outfielders that go through these same things. Played with multiple Gold Glove winner Andy Van Slyke, and he's done it in spring training. I think all of the outfielders, there's a bit of an adjustment. They've got to get used to, again, the elements. Some of these guys coming down here to Florida from up north, they don't get to see the sun and all that all the time. So it's it's not the easiest thing to do, but something that they have to work through.
And that one inside, and a ripped foul by Kunimatsu, the third baseman. As the JR East is really digging into that, what was a 5-0 lead. It's now 5-3. Runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning of play. And he reaches at that one, a little blooper, and finally MLBPA register the first out of the inning and hold the runners at first and second base as Kunimatsu reached towards that one. And now Bo Porter heading out to have a conversation on the mound, and they're going to take him out. Actually, it's going to be a pitching change for MLBPA as Josh Outman is now out of the game.
And that's just simply a pitch count. Get up to a certain amount of pitches. They're going to go ahead and take them out regardless of what the situation is here. But, whenever you have a pitcher and kind of like my kind of danger areas, pitcher starts throwing upwards of 30 pitches in an inning, it really takes a lot out of the guys. So, rather than risk injury, they're going to go ahead, take him out, get somebody else in. He can build on this outings, find out exactly what he did wrong, and try to correct that for his next time on the mound.
Well, if the order's correct here on the mound next. We'll have to wait to see who's coming in to pitch here. And it is Jake Esch.
Yeah, all these guys will know kind of the order that they're going to come in, and just so that they can go ahead and prepare themselves. They'll know they'll pitch, whatever, 1 inning, 30 pitches, maybe 2 innings, 45 pitches. That's all predetermined before they come out to the mound. So, we've got a list, but, having to make a change in the middle of an inning sometimes changes that list. We'll probably see Phil Koch next, former left-hander or major league left-hander. So, with Ash, it was probably get him up. He probably gets loose a little quicker than Koch does. So, this is all about, again, getting ready, maintaining your health at the same time.
Now Jake Esch out of St. Paul, Minnesota, another free agent who previously played for the Miami Marlins and the San Diego Padres, with an 0-1 record in MLB starts with a 5.54 earned run average and 10 strikeouts. The San Diego Padres claimed Esch from the Marlins off of waivers back in March 31st, 2017. Back in June, he signed a minor league contract with the Padres, and he did elect for free agency back in November. Big swing there as Esch evens the count at 1-1. As the shortstop, UC Aitono at the plate for JR East Japan. Yeah, that one inside. 2-1. Still 2 runners on base here in the top of the 6th. JR East Japan have put up 3 runs here to narrow that gap to a score of 5-3 here at IMG Academy on a beautiful day for baseball. And that one cut, and that one will be cut off, and they can just turn 1 there. And so 2 away here in the top of the 6th inning. And it does advance the runners, though, to second and third base now with 2 away. As Yamaguchi to the plate now, the center fielder. A little bit of a half swing there by Yamaguchi, fouled. And just a piece of that one, fouled straight back. Keeps the count 0-2. Jake S. trying to get out of this inning without any more runs being scored. And that one, a chopper and a hopper, and no problem there. Goes to Chris Johnson, the shortstop, or sorry, the second baseman is able to get that over to Steve Clevenger, the new first baseman, into the game as well. Welcome back to IMG Academy to start the 7th inning of play. Jake Esch still in at pitcher for MLB PA. It is 5-3 as that is fouled back. And that one right down the middle as the second baseman, Komura, is behind 0-2, and that one low. Knocked down by Cody Stanley. And that one low to even the count at 2-2. And that one back up to the shortstop. And an easy out there for MLB PA. And one away here in the top of the 7th.
And part of what we're seeing this afternoon is, some flexibility within the MLB ranks. A number of different changes. Tyler Moore started in the outfield. Now he's at third. A lot of times your middle infielders are interchangeable between second and shortstop. Ladendorf now playing short. You've got Chris Johnson, who's played the infield at third. Now we see him at second. So, yeah, you're seeing some guys that are not only showing that they can play, but they can play multiple positions.
Yeah, and Steve Clevenger in at first base now as well. So, like you said, Ladendorf in at shortstop. And Tyler Moore, who started the game, yes, out in right field, is at third base. That one popped up to right field, and that one will drop foul. Nelson Reimold is also made the move out to left field now. And straight back to Jake Esch, and an easy throw over to first base to record the second out of the inning. Quick comebacker.
You take it for granted sometimes that ball right back to the pitcher. And, these guys work on it day after day after day. They call it PFP, pitcher's fielding practice. And it's almost one of those rites of spring training. When you come, you're going to see it no matter what. These guys practice it all the time.
Well, that one, last pitch there, getting inside on Hasegawa, as he can't get out of the way of that one. He is hit, so he makes his way to first base. A toss over to first base, and Hasegawa gets back in time. That one just a little bit high for a ball. Esch back over to first base as Hasegawa dives back in time. Big swing there by Maruko as Hasegawa started to go but went back. Once again, Hasegawa looking to go to second but walks back. It is a strike to Maruko. One and two the count. And that one in low. That evens the count at 2-2. Beautiful day here at IMG Academy. It all started in the bottom of the first inning. The scoring for MLB PA was a massive grand slam by Tyler Moore. And this time the runner does go. And it doesn't matter, though, because Maruko strikes out to end the top of the seventh inning. We'll go to the bottom of the seventh inning here from IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, with MLBPA leading JR East Japan by a score of 5-3. Welcome back to IMG Academy here in Bradenton, Florida. Exhibition baseball between MLB PA and JR East Japan as we're starting the bottom half of the seventh inning here. David Washington at the plate takes a strike to start the inning. A new pitcher in for JR East Japan is Nobaki Ozawa, the left-handed pitcher. And that one straight to the second baseman of JR East Japan, and David Washington is the first out of the inning for MLB PA. Tyler Ladendorf, who's in at shortstop now for MLB PA, at the plate. And he looks at strike one. Just a perfect day here with a wind going into left field. Like we said, I don't think that really mattered on Tyler Moore's grand slam. I don't think he needed the help of the wind in the bottom of the first inning for that one. But we've seen JR East Japan come close to getting one, and that one going foul. Oh, and that is just past the diving shortstop, Komuro. So line drive there, getting underneath the hand, and a base hit for Tyler Ladendorf. That was very close to being a beautiful defensive play by the second baseman, Camuro. Just got underneath his hand and glove. And that one off the leg of the pitcher, Oshawa. So Steve Clevenger gets to first base. And Tyler Ladendorf is able to make his way to third. So runners on the corners now here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Chris Johnson at the plate for MLB-PA. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, IMG just not a home here for baseball here. They have many other great programs in tennis, golf, soccer, lacrosse, football as well. Just a massive facility. It's been amazing to see since I first started coming down here in about 2008 how much this has grown. There really wasn't much here 10 years ago, and now it's just a fantastic facility.
Ellie, I go back to year 2000. I was coaching one of the local high school golf teams, and all that was back here was just the golf range. They had the tennis courts up front. It was basically a two-sport place, and now I'm not sure how many acres are here, but what a facility. I mean, this is, as some call a small college. This is more to a middle or a large college with all the facilities here for their athletics.
Yeah, I think the first year I came down here for Major League Soccer preseason camp when I was working with Toronto FC, there might have been 4 soccer fields and a hill, and that's about it. And none of the stadiums were really built here yet, so it's just amazing to see the growth. 1-2 the count to Chris Johnson. And that one in the dirt. That one fouled back. And still 2-2. 1 away. MLB-PA looking to add to their 5-3 lead. They've got 9 hits on the day to JR East Japan's 5. 3 errors on the day, though, for MLB-PA. Nice grab there. Shortstop, they're trying to get 2, and they do. Great job by JR East of Japan to turn the double play and get out of the 7th inning without allowing the run. Fantastic play here at IMG Academy. So the score remains after the 7th inning, MLB Players Association 5 and JR East of Japan 3. We'll be back with more from IMG Academy after this. Welcome back to IMG Academy. About to start the 8th inning of play, and into pitch now for MLB PA is Phil Koch, 35-year-old pitcher who's been around with the New York Yankees, Detroit Tigers, Chicago Cubs, Toronto Blue Jays, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. A left-handed pitcher, and right away going to talk to his back catcher, Cody Stanley. And the catcher is up right now for JS East Japan, Watanabe.
Right now, they're just going over the signs. Certain pitchers have certain pitches, and they're designated. The normal is you put down one finger, it's a fastball. 2 is a curveball. 3 is a slider, and you wiggle your fingers. That's your changeup. But some pitchers prefer to do it a little bit different way. So they're just basically getting on the same page.
And Watanabe takes ball 1. In Koch's Major League Baseball statistics, his win-loss record, 22 wins, 27 losses with an earned run average of 4.19, 323 strikeouts. Last played in the majors with the Pirates in 2016. And of course, he is a World Series champion back in 2009. And that evens the count at 2-2. That is ball 4. So Watanabe goes to first base here as Phil Koch walks the first batter.
Well, one of the things that Phil's going to, what he's trying to do is he's trying to come back as a knuckleballer. So there's, let's just say that's one of my worst memories of catching is trying to swat down Tim Wakefield's knuckleball back in the late 80s, 90s with the Pirates. One of the most humiliating things that you can possibly do is try to catch a knuckleball, the unpredictability.
Mm-hmm.
But what goes along with that is, being able to throw that thing over the plate for a strike.
There's a well-hit ball to right field, and that is going to get over the head of Turtoslavich, and that is now putting base runners for JR East Japan at second and third in with the double.
Well, right now, as a hitter, in the situation, you've got a 5-3 ball game. I'm trying to push something to the right side to not only get that runner in from third base, but to advance that runner from second to third base, so a sacrifice fly can score them. That's your, probably worst case scenario that you want as an offensive team. Obviously, getting more base hits is going to work, but that's something as a hitter I'm going to be very conscious of trying to do.
So Sato with the double there for JR East Japan. Watanabe on third. And Itono takes strike 2. Sorry, that is Kunimatsu who is at the plate, and that one flies out. Runners tag up and advance. And that scores another run here in the top of the 8th inning. 5-4 now for MLBPA. So after going up 5-0, JR East All-Stars have scored 4 unanswered runs and closed the gap to 1 with a runner on third base and 1 out.
Well, mission accomplished for Kunimatsu, able to not only score the runner, but again, advance that guy from second to third. This kind of pushes the MLB defense into having to be aggressive here, try to choke that run out. So now the infield's in, which dramatically improves the chances as a hitter of being able to knock one through that infield.
Number 6 now, Wataru Tojo in the game and at the plate for JR East Japan. And that one inside. And it is now 3-0. And at 3-0 this time, Phil Koch was right down the middle to get it to 3-1. And that one fouled away. So Koch battling back to get it to a full count. Here in the the top of the 8th inning, where Japan, JR East has scored 1. They have 1 on third, a tying run, and the go-ahead at the plate. Reaching back again, and Tojo fouls that one away. And that one right up the middle. Nice diving play there, and they make the play at first base for the second out of the inning, and it also holds the runner on third. That was a great diving catch there by Ladendorf, and a good throw over to first base to record the out and also to hold that runner on third base.
Ella's situation where, as a third base coach, you're telling that runner, you make the ball go through, and that's a situation where, as a runner, you almost have to read that. Once you see that middle infielder leave his feet, now you can try to advance, even though technically you're supposed to let that ball go through. I mean, that's a completely instinctive play right there. Some guys have it, some guys don't, and they have to be a little bit more robotic and go exactly with what the coach says.
Yamaguchi to the plate now for JR East, and he flies that one up into short left field, and that one is caught to retire the side. They leave one stranded, but they do get one back, JR East from Japan, and so we are going to the bottom of the 8th inning. The score here at IMG Academy, JR East All-Stars 4, MLB PA 5. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to IMG Academy here in Bradenton, Florida. Lee Godfrey alongside Mike Lavalier for a exhibition baseball game between JR East of Japan and the Major League Baseball Players Association side. A bunch of free agents out there showing their stuff, looking to get on with a Major League Baseball team. We have a pitching change for JR East of Japan, Yoshiki Miyamoto. Big right-hander on the mound now in green. As Cody Stanley to the plate for MLBPA. They haven't scored since the bottom of the first inning. And Cody Stanley takes strike one. And that one fouled out and away.
A lot of motion by Miyamoto.
Yeah, it's sidearm.
He's got a bunch of different things going on. Got a big kind of side and high leg kick. Comes in sidewinder style.
That one again fouled. Will it stay enough in play? It does, but the third baseman, Kunimatsu, unable to grab that one, got turned around, and the count remains 0-2 on Cody Stanley.
Yeah, for these right-handed sidewinders, it's always been the toughest thing is to left-handed hitters. They should eat up the righties. The lefties, they really have nothing to really get them off the plate. So it's something that, if they can develop a good sinker, maybe something that's riding hard into the left-handed hitters. But typically that's pitch or the batters that have the advantage are the left-handers against these sidewinders.
It is a weird leg kick, isn't it? That first leg kick, you see the move towards first base, and then he comes up. And that one straight up in the air, using his glove to block it. The center fielder for JR East Japan blocks the sun with his glove, makes the catch, and one out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Tyler Moore to the plate now for MLBPA. With the designated hitter, Juan Francisco, on deck. And Miyamoto starting 0-1, getting it now to ahead of the count, 0-2.
That's what I call the frisbee, a ball that doesn't have any downward motion, mostly just side to side, just sweeps all the way across the plate. And as a hitter, as a right-handed hitter, the ball starts even maybe behind you, and it's really tough to keep that shoulder in there to stay on that breaking ball.
Moore reaching in again and fouling that one off. Oh, and that one was right down the middle, and a big swing from Moore, and he strikes out.
And just the effectiveness of that delivery right there. We saw a couple of breaking balls that swept across, and then he went ahead and threw that good high, hard fastball in and just absolutely ate up Moore.
Juan Francisco now to the plate, the big designated hitter. And he swings on the first pitch. Didn't look like it was very hard, but that ball trails, and that one is gone to deep center field. It didn't look like he hit it very hard, but it certainly got all of it. And Juan Francisco with this home run in the bottom of the 8th inning to make it 6-4 for MLB All-Stars. Or All-Stars, MLB PA's team.
Just a big, strong man right there, a little bit out in front of it, but was able to barrel it up. Again, maybe a little bit wind-aided, but he hit that ball a long way for not being what I would say in perfect balance.
Yeah, it didn't look like a full swing, and the center fielder kept tracking back, and he ran out of real estate, and that one just got over the wall. One and two the count now to Nelson Reimold. And he hits that one. Will that get by the second baseman? It does not. He turns and makes the play. And that retires the side. And we will go to the top of the ninth inning. But MLBPA getting one back on the solo home run by Juan Francisco. And so they get another back to a 2-run lead. It is 6-4 as we head to the top of the ninth from IMG Academy. Welcome back to IMG Academy. Here to start the ninth inning of play. New pitcher on the mound for MLBPA. It is the Canadian Dustin Molikan, who has had time with the Detroit Tigers. 2-1 record and earned run average of 3.38. Has played for the Canadian national team as well, out of Regina, Saskatchewan. And he will face the top of the order, Kimura, the second baseman for JR East All-Stars. Molikan drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 15th round in the 2003 Major League Baseball draft. Was signed to a couple minor league deals with the Milwaukee Brewers and Cleveland Indians before being signed in December 2015 by the Detroit Tigers. Molikan also played for the Canadian national team in 2011. He participated in the 2011 Baseball World Cup, and Canada won the bronze medal there, and also the Pan American Games and a gold medal. And this is a opposite field hit by Kimura, and he will take that for 2.
There's some pretty substantial stats as far as whenever hitters are ahead in the count versus behind in the count, and it's one of those things that, you know, it's a little bit I want to say a little different in the big leagues where they're trying to get pitch counts up, but at the same token, if you're strike one, the hitter hits something like less than 200. So kind of, it's one argues against the other. But I do know for a fact, 2-0, 3-1, it's a huge advantage to the hitters.
That one in high, so that evens the count at 1-1 on Shikamori, the left fielder for JR East Japan. And that one getting away from Dustin Malikan. And 2 balls, 1 strike. So the tying run at the plate right now for JR East Japan. And that one ripped down the right field line, but that is foul. 2-2. Malikan gets that inside, but that one is taken by the shortstop and thrown over to the first baseman of Clevenger, and that records the first out of the inning, but the runner does advance over to third base for JR East All-Stars with 1 away.
That'd be a trade that MLB free agents would always take, getting that out versus, getting the runner at third base, but a good base running by Komuro. Getting over third base, good read. Typically, you want the ball going to the right side to make it easier. But again, you get a good read. The ball's hit slow enough. The only play was the first.
Hasegawa with a big fly ball to center field, and Shikamori tags up, and that gets it within 1. 6-5 now. The score here with 2 away.
Initially thought after the ball going off the bat, I thought we had a tie ball game. Late, the ball was hit pretty well, and again, you see the difference, maybe in just the size and the strength of the MLB players versus what we're seeing from JR East. And we talked about it earlier or before the ball game. The significant size difference of the guys, and that's something that just played right there, where ball deep to center field, even though hit well, I call it, little guy hit it.
Yeah.
Versus what we saw, with
Francisco.
Exactly.
Yeah, it looked very similar, and that just shows the power and strength that Francisco could get behind that ball. And that one was close, but called low. 2-1 the count here in the top of the 9th inning. 2 away. 6-5 the score. That one is close again, but Malikan does not get the call. 3-1. And that time you knew that Maruko, with that 3-1 count, he was swinging all the way there. He was trying to tie the game. And this time he strikes him out as Dustin Malikan ends this one up as the MLBPA hold on and end up defeating JR East of Japan by a score of 6-5. Mike, your thoughts on this match and maybe what it helps accomplish these players that were out there today for both sides?
Well, as we were treated to a good ball game, close ball game, 6-5. Obviously, the 5 runs put up in the first inning by MLB free agents, let them, kind of relax and get their business done. Their pitchers got their work in, a lot of at-bats, 4 and 5 at-bats per player. So, again, a mission accomplished. We got to see a good ball game. The guys got good work in, and I think both sides benefit from this.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mike LaValliere. The IMG catching coordinator and JR varsity coach here at IMG Academy. Also want to thank Dan Simmons for stopping by as well, the IMG director of baseball, and Bo Porter to come up and spend a half an inning of play here with us in the booth and to answer some of the questions for what ended up being, you're right, a fantastic baseball game here at IMG Academy. They always do a fantastic job of hosting all of these events. The final score is 6-5 for MLBPA. So for Mike LaValliere and all of us here at IMG Academy, I'm Lee Godfrey. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and we'll see you again next time here from IMG Academy. All right, we are still streaming live here from IMG Academy. It was MLBPA taking on JR East of Japan, 6-5, the final score with Jared Saltamakia and Chris Johnson. Jared, for you today, what was it like to be back there, and what do you go into this kind of preseason? What is your whole strategy and objective going into this?
Well, I mean, I'm just taking the approach of this as a spring training. You take the name off the front of the jersey, and it's all the same. We're getting our looks at some pitching. We're getting our looks at, BP, ground balls, all that stuff. So, to be able to play competitive baseball and put some at-bats together and get some reps is what we're here for.
Chris, how did you feel out there? And every player in every position is going into preseason with a different objective. What's yours?
The same thing, like Salty said. We're just trying to get ourselves ready to play, so when we get a phone call, we're ready to go. We're trying to treat this exactly like it's a normal spring training, so that we can hit the ground running. And hopefully, somebody calls and we get an opportunity.
You guys have been around MLB for a few years. What do the facilities here at IMG stack up to compared to other preseasons and places that you've been?
This is top notch. I mean, I think Arizona might have just a leg up because theirs is, brand new. But I mean, facilities here, you got the weight room, you got all the fields you can think of. I mean, we pretty much can do anything we want here. But, I wish I was lucky enough to be able to do this when I was in high school and coming up because, these kids got everything.
Chris, talk about the competition today. Where would you rate that at? You guys really got a big start with the Grand Slam home run, but then it took a while, that the other team was able to grind back into this one.
Yeah, they're playing good baseball. They play good, solid baseball. They got good arms. They play good defense. They're in every single pitch and they're working hard. So we try not to play to any competition. We're trying to get our work in and get ready to play.
All right, Jared Saltamacchia and Chris Johnson, thank you very much for your time this afternoon, guys, and good luck the rest of this preseason.